Hey, what's happening everybody? Charles Marring here. In the art studio today, I've got my Lumix G9 and I wanted to talk a little bit about the high resolution mode that's built into the G9. The ability to capture 80 megapixel stills on this camera cannot be overstated. Such a cool new feature. And I want to show you how to set it up, show you some examples. First, let's cut to that intro. So I was recently on assignment in Manhattan and I had this really cool project in which I was photographing the interiors of this amazing 4K home theater showroom and show space. And I thought to myself, what a cool opportunity to utilize the G9 in the high resolution mode. So I did just that. Basically, this camera has the ability to capture 80 megapixel stills when we want it to, of still lifes. I say still lifes because what's happening in the camera to allow it to do that is it's doing something called pixel shift. My understanding is that it takes 8 different photographs, takes a photograph, shifts about a half a pixel in some direction, takes another, and keeps shifting until it's done. I don't need to know the math behind it, that's the beauty of it. I just need to know that it works, and it does incredibly well. Let's show you how to set it up in camera real quick, and then we'll get over to the examples. So I'm diving into the interior of my Lumix G9. I'm going to hit the menu button on the back to bring us in. We are already at that mode there. If you go to the wrench setting as far as the menu is concerned, page 4 of 5, you'll see high resolution mode. I click set and it's going to take us in. So we have a couple different icons to look through here. We have start, we have picture size. This is not showing right now because I've got the HDMI plugged into the camera, so it's not going to allow us to see that. But there's basically two options, 80 megapixels and 40 megapixel files. And then I can go down, I can choose to shoot it in RAW, and yes, we can process these in Lightroom, which you'll see. RAW plus JPEG or just JPEG, we'll choose RAW. And then another cool feature, which I did on assignment, was I had the ability to say, do I want to simultaneously record a normal shot? We can turn that on or off. Indeed we do, because we can have both options at our fingertips and show you the difference. We can also have a shutter delay of 2 seconds, 1 second, all the way up to 30 seconds, which is kind of key because you don't want to have any shake in your camera when you hit that shutter button to go off. So just going to navigate back out of that, and we're going to go up to start, and we are going to start high resolution mode on the G9 by clicking set. We are now in high resolution mode for the photographs that we take. And basically, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot even though you won't hear anything because it's in silent mode. Basically, it just took 8 different photographs and shifted the pixel each time. You can see that it's saying creating high resolution image. It's taking all that data, piecing it together. And so that's how I did it. If I want to get out of high resolution mode for the continue my assignment or my work, really simple. As you can see on the lower left, it'll say FN2 end. Well, basically on the back of the camera, I hit FN2, and now we're completely out of high resolution mode, and we can just do our business as normal. So that's how you set it up. Those are the choices and options available. Let's go over to the computer, see a couple of photographs from my recent assignment. So yeah, pretty cool. Finally had an assignment where I said to myself, this is the ideal situation to utilize this cool 80 megapixel file mode. Let's dive into the Lightroom here and I'll show you. I have 2 images pulled up. Since I utilize the feature to simultaneously capture a normal picture and the high resolution photo at the same time, I have both to show you here. And if we look at the metadata, I'll click on one of these here, it will say this file is 10,368 pixels, so that is the 80 megapixel version. If I click here, we'll see this is 5,184 pixels. So these files are identical. Where it gets cool is that if I zoom in to 100% on one, you'll see how big that vase is, how big the subject is here. And if I zoom in on the other, you'll see the same thing. But do you notice how much more detail there is? How much bigger this vase is in the shot than in the 20 megapixel version? And what that equals for us is the ability to print extraordinarily large images and have that same amount of detail even when you walk up and kind of pixel peep that huge printed image. So that's the beauty of the 80 megapixel file. Now, as mentioned before, you don't want anything moving in your subject. If the wind is blowing and leaves are moving in the background, it's going to give some weird effects. So you really need to do this with still life photographs. But I tell you, it's pretty cool that for a micro four thirds camera, we're getting kind of a medium format camera kind of resolution for our still life photography. And I just think that's really remarkable. So there's a time and place. There's a time and place to utilize your standard mode, time and place to utilize that 80 megapixel still life mode as well. And I just had the perfect opportunity to do just that. So that's a wrap today, guys. I just wanted to go over this new high resolution mode, what it means to me as a professional photographer, how to set it up, get it done, show you some examples. And that's a wrap for today's Tech Talk. Have a great one, everybody. Take care.